Hey, how's it going, guys? This is your boy Hazzed, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my top 5 favorite classes in Legion, and I'm also going to be talking about the 3 classes that I'm planning on playing during Legion drop, where I'm planning on putting them as for factions. You guys have been asking me, are you going Horde or are you staying Alliance? Anyways, guys, we're going to discuss that in this video, so let's jump into that. Number 5 for me, guys, is going to be Demon Hunters. Why Demon Hunters? Well, honestly, guys, one of the main reasons is the fact is they can counter rogues and they can see invisible people. Yeah, so you can just basically pop this on right here, guys, and check your glaive at a rogue to knock him out, and then the rogue doesn't get the OP opener, which is absolutely amazing that something actually counters a rogue's opener, guys. Because it's way too strong right now. Way, way, way too strong. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about why this class, why I find it amazing. Like, just the pure fact of the attacks are cool. I'd have to say, Blade Dance right here, and Chaos Strike that can actually hit more than one target, of course, if you spec into it, is an amazing ability. Plus, they basically have, like, a deterrence to get out of combat. Of course, they have their Fell Rushes, which make this class really fun. Here, let me show you guys here, just in case what I'm talking about. Basically, let's say there's a water here or a guy over there hitting another guy. You got to save him. You got to get there quick. Doesn't matter. You pop up. You can fly across. You can zoom a little bit, and you're already here. You know, other classes that would be a lot harder unless you were like a warrior that has leap. You know, things like that. But all in all, guys, this class has a lot of amazing mechanics. I mean, a simple ability called Rain from Above. It's not great against range classes, but if you're fighting double melee or something, you pop that on him. It can actually, just annihilate the whole team, even annoy the living crap out of tanks. Because it is spell damage, it's not melee damage, so you can actually tick down on quite a number of tanks, I believe, besides DKs that have a grip. But even then, even if you have a grip, you have to be like almost directly underneath them to pull them back down. Unless they're a lot closer, in which case they've already dealt most of the damage and probably have the mitigation they're already looking for. As for major cooldowns, they have quite a few cool cooldowns. As like their laser beam eyes, which is absolutely amazing. You gotta time that, of course, probably with stun. You can even spec into it to make that stronger. It used to be a lot stronger until they nerfed it, but then again, it totally needed nerf. Like, it was globaling people within the Chaos Nova, and then they'd hit them with Eye Beam, and they could global multiple characters in Battlegrounds, which that really needed to be taken down. And it did. They've also got a couple stuns you can go into. They've got one that's kind of like a single target stun, and then they got another, like I was talking about, Chaos Nova, which just stuns multiple targets. Now, let's see here. They also got Imprison, which just locks demons up. You can spec into it so it's usable in PvP, which is a pretty good ability, honestly. It takes somebody out of the fight for, I believe, 5 seconds, wasn't it? Roughly. Probably about the time limit of a stun, I could imagine. Also, we have Darkness, which, shrouds you and then the people that are in your group. I believe you can also spec into it, I believe, to take less damage, and I think you can almost stealth with it. I'm not exactly sure. You don't quote me on this. Let me look. No, it's just damage reduction. Okay, yeah. Okay, yep. 50% chance. So, I mean, that's actually really great for a lot of classes if you're using that with things that are used to being globaled. Definitely can help out a lot because of the amount of mobility this class has. There isn't really too many specs now that can just help their partner. More of, complement it instead of helping. Now it's amazing the fact that they have the ability just to be able to help their partner. Now, major cooldowns, we've talked about the beam. We got Chaos Blades, which causes your melee attacks to do more damage. If you stack up Chaos Blades, throw in your artifact. Now, here's the coolest part, obviously, of course, guys, is the metamorphosis. You turn into a big demon and deal a lot more damage, of course. And you're going to throw in your stuns, use your regular abilities, zoom back in on them, hit them hard, and deal a lot of burst. The crazy thing about demon form is you can spec into it that it has a ton of leech, making the class very tanky. And that's going to be one of the ways you survive on this class and play a lot of your double DPS arenas, is relying on that leech to tank you through things, and then relying on, of course, your mobility to stay away from targets when they don't need to be near you, and of course they're bursting since the character has a lot of mobility. Now, they also have a cooldown that allows them to dodge attacks, kind of like a rogue's evasion called Blur, and increases dodge by 50% and reduces damage taken by 35%. So that's a pretty major defensive cooldown for any class, really. I mean, it's better than IBF. It's better than evasion. I don't believe evasion gives you a damage reduction. But all in all, like, this class is a pretty sweet class. As far as being bored playing it, you will not be bored playing Demon Hunter. As far as all the mechanics go, because honestly, fighting different classes, there's so many styles and possibilities to change things up that you'll find yourself spending a lot of times just trying to get that down. So let's move on to the next class. My number 4, guys, is gonna be Windwalker Monk. You're probably sitting there thinking Windwalker Monk, like, Haze, you're talking about classes we haven't seen you play yet. Alright, so why do I like Windwalker Monks? I actually really like him right now because of just the rotation style. They come out, and the fact that he does a double backflip. If he didn't do a double backflip, I wouldn't be playing him. Just saying. No, but seriously, guys, Windwalker Monks actually have a really fun play style in Legion. I really don't know why anybody would complain about playing a Windwalker when the fact that they have so much mobility and they have one of the strongest self-heals in the game. Like, you see this infused? Look at that. And you're using your energy. Your energy comes back. So, you can imagine as a Windwalker Monk, your ability to kite basically gives you the endless amount of healing you need to basically 1v1 just about any class arena style. So as long as you're good enough to kite and actually play through mechanics, Windwalker Monks are insanely strong. I fought actually quite a few good ones and was severely impressed by what they could do. They also got their healing elixir, of course, which allows them to heal. Also uses it automatically at 35%, which is pretty beefy. Pretty beefy, guys. Pretty beefy heal. And also, of course, they got their little cooldown cat form. They got, let's see, what do we got? We got Serenity now, makes us deal more damage. And we got, let's see, what other fancy, oh, here's the coolest part, guys. Where's it at? We gotta wait for a little bit of energy. We gotta wait for cooldown. Is the Fists of Fury, guys. Not only is the Fists of Fury fun, you can spec into it so it stuns. You can use it while you move. Like, that has gotta be the coolest thing ever. I don't know about you guys, but I can't play a monk right now without making that noise when you're doing the Fist of Fury. I mean, I probably wouldn't do it on a survival hunter. I mean, just for the simple fact that, you know, you just don't stun him. It's not as fun. You can't move. But, of course, on a Windwalker Monk, I mean, like, that is the most terrifying thing. If I ever turn around and see a Windwalker Monk looking at me being like, "What's up, dude? Where you going? Where you going? Where you going, guard? Where you going? Where you going?" That would be terrifying. Are you kidding me? Did I have a way out of that stun? Oh, look at this. There's another monk going ham. But yeah, guys, monks are actually pretty fun. Of course, they've got their normal amount of CC. They got a stun. They've got, actually, I believe they, the way I have it spec'd right now, I've got 2 stuns. I've got the kick and Fist of Fury. And then I've got, of course, Paralysis, which is, you know, kind of like a sap, which is a pretty good amount of CC for the amount of self-healing and damage this class can deal. All in all, guys, I'd have to say the strongest part of this mechanic, like I was saying, is have to be the healing and the mechanics. And, of course, portaling doesn't hurt either. Which makes this class going to have to be, of course, my number 4, just for the fact that it's fun. It's a fun class to play. You know, skill level scales much higher just based on your skill and what mechanics you can use on this class. And all in all, playing it is like, I don't know, it has that little kung fu feel, you know what I mean? Like it literally does. Like, I feel like I'm playing some little tiny Bruce Lee right now with the abilities that he's throwing out. Like, it's cool. If you guys play a monk, you should be severely excited for Legion. Of course, they got their Touch of Karma. Still, Touch of Death, and, you know, probably a lot of the same talents they had to begin with. Besides, did they have Infused? I think they had Infused. I'm not quite sure if they had Infused before. I didn't play a monk too much. I got one to level cap, but I never spent much time playing him. But I probably will play a monk a bit more in Legion, just based off of what I've experienced here at Beta. And, of course, oh yeah, I forgot they got their kick. Yeah, throw the kick in. Gotta throw a kick in. I'm not trying to cover every little small ability on the classes, guys. I'm just giving you guys reasons to why I enjoy this class currently and why I think this class is a lot of fun. And even if some of these classes aren't known as the strongest damagers or the strongest healers, as long as you play the class to their strength, you're still going to enjoy it. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3, guys, is going to be Unholy DK. Now, the top 3 are going to be the classes that I for sure intend on playing in Legion, guys. What am I going to do with Unholy DK? Well, since you can just, basically switch over your talents and change artifact weapons, more than likely I'll play my regular DK as Frost and Unholy and switch back and forth. But I have a lot of fun playing Unholy because of the kiting mechanics, the fact that it can be at range, and the fact that it deals an insane amount of AoE pressure with minimal effort just to dominate just the whole field, the whole field, the whole field. You literally are you can throw yourself within every fight out there, and of course throw out your pets. You literally don't have to go in combat. You can burst the living crap out of people. As for defensive, they got IBF. They still have death strikes. They have Wraithwalk for LOS and a cute CCs there to get out of harm's way. Of course, we have AMS still, and the newest cool little ability is Corpse Shield, where you basically sacrifice, your pet's health. Any damage you take is going to go to your pet and make you invulnerable to that damage, which is really strong. It is a really strong ability, and if you throw that up with IBF, of course, you're only going to take 30% less damage, and your pet's going to take 30% less damage too during that. So, I mean, it's a really, really cool spec, guys. Yeah, I can explain this one a lot faster. These 3 are going to be the ones that I've played the most and easily the most experienced on. As far as mechanic strength, guys, Unholy is definitely the king of mechanic strength right now when it comes to Legion Beta. Just look at that. Like, this says it all. That just says it all, guys. That says it all. That's just pure power right there on everybody. Threes match, RPG match, Battleground match, doesn't matter. That'll just rip apart everything. So let's jump to number 2. Number 2 is going to go to my Frost Death Knight, definitely, guys. Now you're sitting there thinking, wait, what do you mean number 2 Frost Death Knight? Hey, what are you doing to us? Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. You'll agree with number 1. You'll agree with it. Anyways, why Frost Death Knight number 2, guys? Frost Death Knights have an insane amount of burst damage, guys, along with shooting a dragon out of their butt at a target, which is absolutely amazing. Guys, I absolutely love the playstyle of Frost right now. They have an insane amount of AoE pressure, probably the most in the game, I'd have to say. As far as melee AoE pressure, Unholy can deal just as much damage as Frost, but Frost can punch out a lot, pump out a lot more numbers a lot faster, especially the initial burst on a target. Now, a lot of classes just have a hard time surviving that kind of burst from a Frost unless they get out of the breath, of course, and get out of melee range, because those melee attacks and that breath mixed in with Remorseless Winter is absolutely devastating from a Frost DK. So the only way to actually avoid that is to get the heck away from it and use that mobility I was talking about on a lot of other classes, play to that strength. And of course, that's kind of harder when you have grip and a few other abilities. The other thing that's really cool is Chill Streak that deals percentage damage, 14%. You're thinking 14% is not that much, but it bounces 5 times. So if you have 2 targets, of course, it bounces between the 2 targets and can ramp up to, let's see, with 36% damage, roughly, on a, no, not 36. I got this wrong. 28, 38. Nope. All right, so 28, yeah. Okay, yeah, we got that right. Did we get it right? No, we didn't get it right. About 42%. There we go. All right, we had to sit there and play math for a minute, guys. Yeah, you can deal 42% damage just based off of that bouncing ability. And of course, if you're dueling anybody with a pet, that one ability is going to be extremely powerful against them. Now, it can be AMS'd off, it can be bubbled off, things like that can prevent that one ability from decimating you and your whole team if you get rid of it from the get-go. So if you time that correctly, that ability is not nowhere near as devastating, along with a lot of other major abilities and cooldowns in this game. You just got to know how to mitigate them. But as far as defensives go, we got IBF for a major heal. We got Anti-Magic Shell, and of course Death Strikes, and of course Wraithwalk. But as far as this class strength mechanic-wise goes, you will need to learn how to chains, kite, and get away from targets if you want to play a Death Knight correctly, because you will have to use chains and LOS to control openers on a Death Knight, and of course build your runic power before going into combat, so you're not the one playing defensively from the get-go on a Frost Death Knight. Otherwise, it's going to be a real problem with how squishy they are. So let's jump over Wait. We can't go yet. I have to discuss one more thing. What am I gonna do with my Death Knight? My Frost Death Knight. Everyone's asking, you going Alliance? You going Horde? You going Alliance? You going Horde? You see the shirt, guys? Yeah, I'm keeping my Death Knight on Alliance. Like, what are you guys thinking? I'm gonna go Horde on my Death Knight after this many years? No way. I got too many people I know over there. But no, I'm definitely gonna keep my Death Knight on Alliance. I may end up making it all Death Knight since the appearance tab actually crosses over, and I can make a Death Knight, Orc Death Knight, look exactly like my human Death Knight. So it's not gonna be too much of a difference. But, guys, I do have a plan for Horde 2, which comes up to my next favorite class, which is literally my favorite class on the Legion beta at the moment. I like it better than a Frost Death Knight. I mean, I feel like it has a bit more uptime and probably mechanically stronger when it comes to fighting ranged classes and classes that can kite. As far as single target burst, this next class has, I'd say, a higher burst, but nowhere near as much AoE. So let's discuss this, guys. Number one, last but definitely not least, guys, for the funnest classes that I like to play in Legion, it's gonna go to Enhancement Shamans, guys. You're like, Enhancement Shaman Haste? Why? Enhancement Shamans are amazing on Legion Beta. Are you kidding me? You can throw down totems, you can drop Counter-Strike Totem, which deals like almost 100% damage back on the target. Now, guys, you're thinking that's OP. The thing only has 10 health. So if you ignore this target and get globaled, you might as well just got hit by Touch of Karma and face punch yourself in the nuts. So obviously, guys, if you're getting killed by that, stop being stupid. The other reason, of course, is going to be the fact that if you don't want to use Counter-Strike Totem, because Counter-Strike Totem is definitely not the most reliable all the time, because if you get multiple people on you, I mean, it's like, it's just going to hit the one with the lowest health. It's not going to hit the one you want. It's not going to hit the healer you want. It's just going to hit the one with the lowest health. So, I mean, you better hope that the lowest one is the healer. Alright, so also you can replace it with Wind Fury Totem, guys. Everybody loves Wind Fury. I mean, come on. This is like a huge class buff. I mean, it's why everyone's excited to play Shamans. I love Shamans for that reason. You don't have to use the Wind Fury Totem buff just for yourself, guys. I believe it's already built in here somewhere. But, of course, for your the rest of the people on your team, using that will be absolutely amazing. And, of course, they have actually quite a few cool abilities. They still have their Ascendants. One of the abilities I really like is Crash Lightning that comes down like that, which causes your Storm Strikes to deal extra damage, which is the other reason I like this class, is just the insane burst that it can pump out. Now, let me talk about this burst, guys. Usually opening up on a target, I'm going to drop, you know, my Healing Totem. I'll probably drop either Counter-Strike Totem behind a pillar over here a little bit farther back, or a little bit farther forward. It matters what I'm going to do, really. And, of course, I'm going to drop Stun or a few other things. Now, I open up with Wolves, guys. Now, why do I open up with Wolves? Because when I start on a target, my Wolves are going to get on them, and it's going to build up my Maelstrom. By the time it builds up my Maelstrom and I get in on a target, generally, I want to be getting Storm Strike procs as fast as possible. Now, guys, the crazy thing about Enhancement Shamans is there are times that you'll open up on targets like this, and you will not get a single double Storm Strike proc. But as soon as you do, guys, here's where the one-shot comes in. I got 2 macros I made up for it, where I just pop them, pop the double macros, and I can literally, like, global people in arena. There's double proc, triple proc. Oh my goodness. That was literally enough power right there to basically global 2 different people. So you got your major abilities like Flame Tongue, you got Wind Song, which are kind of like your amp up damage, and then you got Rock Biter, which gets your Maelstrom for you. And of course, as I was saying, your major damage is going to be from Storm Strike. To do your AoE pressure, you got to use Crash Lightning and then reside on your Storm Strikes to do a lot of that AoE. Because, for the most part, they don't have too much AoE unless you're doing that correctly. And just smashing them Storm Strikes. And, of course, when you get little Wind Fury procs during those Storm Strikes, it can turn from, you know, like a 300-400k hit to a 500-600k hit. So instead of just hitting them, you know, boom, boom, 300-400ks, and, of course, with all this small dot damage, of course, major procs, of course, fire damage coming off of Flame Tongue, haste with Wind Song. I mean, it's really just an insane attack that Enhancement Shamans can do. As far as CC goes, guys, of course, they got their stun like we were just talking about, and they got their Hex still. Now, it's going to be harder to use these since I don't believe they have the instant Hex. It definitely has a cast time, so it's going to take quite a bit more skill to pre-plan and not get interrupted to use that correctly. The other thing I really like is their Healing Totem, which allows a lot of mobility along with self-healing in fights, and of course, they have their Healing Surge, which completely heals them up. I mean, a lot of healing. For some reason, when it comes to Healing Surge, I'm not really sure what it is, guys, whether it has to do with a certain attack or certain proc, but you can max out your healing and still have enough Maelstrom, but for some reason can't hit Healing Surge. Now, if anyone has any idea about that, let me know. I have no idea why it does that. I kind of find it annoying that you can't heal yourself even though you have the right amount of stuff to heal yourself. I mean, they're probably doing that to limit the charges, so of course the class isn't going to kite people out for days and full heal over and over again. So it does make sense in my mind that that's happening. But all in all, guys, I've got to say this class has a lot of mobility, has a lot of ranged and melee, yardage attacks. Pretty good amount of CC. Of course, for defensives, they have Astral Shift, their heal, and just raw mobility, of course, LOSing around pillars, and having a lot of burst damage. I mean, really, this is a fun class, guys. Enhancement Shamans, if you are a Shaman lover, I'd probably say this is going to be what you're most excited for coming into Legion, is literally just playing your dang class. Because, guys, I think I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the class I'm going to have on a Horde that I'm going to be playing. This is like my contingency plan for keeping my DK on Alliance, was just making an Orc Shaman and playing him. Now, I didn't really want to do that at first, because I do have an Alliance Shaman, and he has, like, the full Hyjal Molten gear, and I was like, oh, the fist weapons and everything, guys. And I was like, no, there's no way I can roll another Shaman. I don't want to farm that back up. But then again, since appearances, like I said on the last one, are account-wide now, I mean, I might as well do it, because I can make make that Shaman where the new Shaman wear my favorite appearance. I don't have to go farm it, because those Molten Fists are actually a pretty low drop chance, and you got to get lucky to get those. So this is going to be it for my top 5 video, guys. It's pretty obvious that I'm going to play the top 3. Like I said, I'll probably most likely 100% keep my DK on Alliance side and then make an Enhancement Shaman on Horde side to play with some Horde people. Plus, I like having a Horde Shaman. I don't like a Dwarf Shaman. I don't like a Space Goat Shaman. Obviously, I want him to be an Orc. And of course, the extra attack power buff is absolutely amazing. Right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope this gives you hope gives you guys a little bit better incentive to maybe look forward to playing your class if they are one of these. As for me, guys, I am a definitely melee player. I hardly play range. I do like playing some range classes. I love Destro, Warlock, and a few other things. But you probably won't see me playing too many of those in Legion, because I really do like the melee playstyles that are coming forward. But until next time, guys, this is your boy Hazzed.